I know the entire stadium is electrified hearing the Honorable the President of India. And I stand up just to salute her for such a wonderful, brilliant and thought-provoking speech. Honorable President of India, Srimati Draupadi Murmu, Honorable Governor of Orissa, Professor Ganeshi Lal, our dear Chief Justice, Dr. Justice S. Muralidhar, Honorable Member of Law, Mr. Saraka, Honorable Advocate General, Mr. Ashok Parija, and the Captain of the Bar, Mr. Dharanidhar Naik, the President of the High Court Bar Association, my esteemed colleagues, my brothers and sisters, respected former judges of this High Court, the senior advocates, and heart of the Orissa High Court, the young lawyers, those who will construct the futures of this High Court. Central Postmaster General Orissa Circle, Sri Shubhendu Swain, the learned law officers and members of the High Court Bar Association, government official, and the officials of the Postal Department, Registrar General, registrars, and my dear employees of the Odisha High Court, ladies and gentlemen, as our Chief Justice mentioned, it's a finale. It's a finale of celebration. As we cross the 75 years, it's a milestone, and it's also a beginning of the further journey to the future. High Court requires nourishment for all its stakeholders. High Court is not the High Court of the judges. High Court not alone the High Court of the lawyers. High Court not alone the High Court of its officers and employees. High Court is for the people of Orissa. That should be ingrained in our memory, and when we look at the future. Honorable President was just reminding us our fundamental duties and very mindfully reminding us where we are failing. I remember her speech in the Constitutional Day she delivered in Delhi regarding these under trial prisoners languishing in jail. It's a huge challenge for the judiciary. But respected member, we can assure you, in Orissa, through the legal aid system, we are now maintaining jail clinics in every jail of the Orissa, and through the legal aid lawyers, these persons who are not getting bail, we are taking special care of them so that they can get the bail. And you have mentioned, I am grateful for that people who doesn't know their right. It is our collective duty. It is not only the duty of the judiciary. Since we live in a democracy, we must learn to live with the citizen, fellow citizen, who doesn't have the minimum knowledge of their right. It is our duty as a collective to impart them the knowledge of that right, and whenever their right is pervaded or invaded, to stand up just their side. I am grateful to the Honorable Governor, Mr. Ganeshi Lal. It was always a pleasure to hear him. He has the multifaceted genius, philosophy, politics, even to the extent of the law. We also sometimes hear a rancor in his voice. But sir, I can assure you this rancor energizes us to do much better performance. I come from small northeastern states. I lived from my childhood with my tribal brethren. I know the disadvantage, but I see the new aspiration has been generated when Madame Draupadi Murmu acquired the highest office of this country, that we can also achieve. This is a dream spread over the country. I was a judge in Arunachal Pradesh. Professor Ganeshilal has talked about the rule of law. That is the bedrock of the democracy. I talk about the rule of law is not to be guarded. Rule of law that should be nurtured by the democracy, nurtured by its citizenry. I give you one simple example. I was holding a meeting of the commissioner of Itanagar. He was telling me one experience because he was from outside. That, sir, I was taken aback noticing one certain thing. Against a person belonging to a small tribal group called Adi in Arunachal Pradesh, police registered a case. Entire community, believe me, he was telling me, came with that person to the police station so that he surrendered to the police. That is the responsibility of the rule of law. Perhaps more advanced societies are failing in this responsibility. That is why sometimes we do not find the justice is done in time. Our president has stated very categorically the judiciary must listen the small voices of the margin. Judiciary shoulders are not that strong, but believe us, through the public interest litigation, we are taking a huge stride to register their voices so that their voices is heard by the administration, heard by the judiciary, heard by all the persons who have a stake in the democracy. And the number of public interest litigation have been taken by the Orissa High Court, and we are just following those public interest litigation. Madam, we are really delighted, and with this delight I will just urge all the young lawyers, because they are the future judges, they are the future judicial officers, they are the future senior advocates who will guide the High Court. Come forward with a sense of the service to the community. If you excel in your profession, you must understand this is a service in the community, because we talk about the quality service through this institution. As a judge, we are always humbled by your erudition when you just display about any law, interpret a law. So far, I tell you, the history of judiciary was in a small paragraph in the history books of the country. But with the change of time, with our tryst with the Constitution, we have taken a major part of this history. And that is why when we are holding the National Conference on the Judicial History, there is so much of interest from the historians. What is happening with the judiciary? What is there in the judicial record? Earlier that was not there.